Alright, I wanted to do a very late, very quick reaction to the UFC Perth Della Maddalena versus Carlos Prates card, and man, I cooked. I cooked. I didn't do a pick for the Marwan Rahiki versus Ali Schmid fight because that was announced after my video came out, but excluding that fight, I went 9-3 overall on picks for the card, which I'm pretty proud about, but what I'm most proud about is my prediction for Carlos Prates and Della Maddalena. I made a video saying this was not a close fight, and man, it was not a close fight. From the beginning, Prates did a great job keeping range. He was landing hard kicks to the legs and the body, and he landed that step-in knee probably like 15 fucking times, man. The long 1-2s were a problem all fight for Della Maddalena, and I specifically said that would be a very tough thing for him to deal with. We were only like halfway into the first round, and Carlos Prates was already just rolling his fists around and walking sideways, and I was like, oh shit, this might be bad, man. Near the end of the first round, Carlos Prates hit JDM with a knee, and JDM shot in for a takedown, and I've seen a lot of people like, oh man, you see how easy JDM landed that takedown? Imagine what Islam would do to him. And it's like, okay, I get that. Like, I get what you're saying. I get the point you're trying to make. And I do think Islam wins that fight. But Carlos Prates was literally smiling mid-takedown. I think there was no way that he thought JDM was really going to shoot a takedown. And after that first takedown, JDM went 1 of 4. So I think after that, Carlos was like, okay, this guy's going to shoot some takedowns. I'll adjust. But we can't look at that round 1 takedown. It's like, oh shit, he has no takedown defense. Like, come on. To start the second round, Carlos Prates was rolling his fists around again, bouncing around at range, the classic Muay Thai shit. And he started to put together some really long, powerful combos that, to be fair, Della Maddalena was doing a solid job blocking, the best you can. But even, 50, 60, 70% of a Carlos Prates hit is still gonna do damage and wear you down. And Jack really just looked way too flat-footed in this fight. He was standing in front of Carlos Prates a lot, and if he wasn't standing in front of him, he was pushing forward trying to pressure him, and sadly, neither one was working. Near the end of the second, it felt like he was landing every knee he threw, and he started to throw some more heavy leg kicks and dropped him near the end of the second. And JDM looked so defeated after round 2. He got dropped by the leg kick, got kicked again, and literally went, ah. And it was like, oh man, shit. Like, this is going downhill pretty fast. He landed another hard 1-2 to start the third, and then dropped him with a head kick. JDM got back up, but then Carlos Prates immediately landed another knee and another elbow and dropped him again. He landed some more knees, some more elbows, and then dropped him again with a leg kick. And after that one, JDM just sat there and put his hands behind his head. This was sad, man. This was a sad performance. Like, I expected this to not be a close fight. That's what I predicted. But it was still pretty sad watching it go down in Perth. Prates landed some more leg kicks, and JDM started hitting him with the ah. Mike Beltran was like, stand up. And this was very close to being a leg kick knockout, which would have been even more embarrassing, to be honest. But Carlos jumped on him, threw some elbows, and packed him up. Carlos Prates threw almost 120 more significant strikes and landed almost 60 more significant strikes. So the numbers do a pretty good job of showing how this fight went. It was just Carlos Prates out-voluming JDM and outpowering JDM on the feet. And everything that I thought would be a problem ended up being a problem. The knees, the elbows, the long 1-2s, the leg kicks, the lack of power coming back from JDM's side. Because to be fair, JDM did land a couple solid counters, but they just looked like they didn't do anything. Carlos Prates just shrugged it off and kept walking forward. So I didn't really look at JDM as this knockout guy and this power guy that people were saying he was, and he just couldn't keep up with the power of Carlos Prates. So I'm going to move on to the rest of the card now, but I just wanted to take that first part to really dive into that fight because I'm happy, man. I cooked. Really sad for JDM. That was pretty sad, pretty bad to watch, but I'm happy that a man cooked. Now, I'm going to be honest, a man was either asleep or half asleep for a lot of these fights to start the card, but I have gone back and watched the majority of the fights and all of the finishes, so I'm pretty caught back up now. And I'm not going to spend too much time on these first couple fights. Cody Steele submitted Don Marfan with a knee bar in round 1, which was pretty shocking to me. Mikhailov outstruck Garimbo in rounds 1 and 3, but got controlled pretty hard in round 2. They called this a split decision, but I thought it was a pretty clear 29-28 with Garimbo just winning the second round. Ben Johnson versus Wes Schultz was an ugly fight, but Wes Schultz was able to pull off a submission. Colby Thickness beat Vince Morales, and he looked a lot better than I thought he would, but I also thought Vince Morales won rounds 2 and 3. Still a good win though. Jacob Malkoun ended up beating Gerald Mearshart in a decision, but this fight was way closer than it should have been, and you honestly could have given Mearshart the decision. Junior Tafa got hurt by a leg kick early, but after that just started throwing bombs and got Kevin Christian out of there. Cam Rouston just ran through Robert Brichek. It was not a close fight at all. Moving on to the main card, man. R.I.P. Tai Tuivasa. That was just... And I'm the dumbass that picked him. I picked Tai Tuivasa on a 6-fight losing streak. Why did I do it? Vibes, okay? Strictly vibes. But Louis Sutherland went out there and just wrestled the fuck out of Tai Tuivasa. And I know the Perth crowd was hating on it, but it honestly was a pretty impressive win on like a week's notice. Brando Pericic and Shamil Gaziev kind of had like a Timu, Josh Hokett, Curtis Blades fight. They were both just throwing bombs for as long as they could, but Brando Pericic was definitely landing the harder shots. And I said as long as he stuffed the takedown early, he'd be alright, and he did exactly that. Another very fun heavyweight fight, which we're actually kind of getting some now, and for a while we were not. And Brando Pericic looks like a top 10 heavyweight. Marwan Rahiki got Ali Schmidt out of there with a nasty combo, and I technically didn't make an official pick on this fight, but I definitely would have taken Marwan Rahiki. And he just knocked out a nobody, to be fair, but he looks good. Steve Erceg handled Tim Elliott pretty easily, and that was a good look for him and a good win as well. The first round was competitive, but after that, Erceg was piecing him up pretty bad. Man. Quillen Salkild got Beneil Dariush out of there. But I will say, Beneil had some moments in the fight, or at least a moment when he landed a good shot on Quillen and kind of dropped him in the first round, but I do think they were overhyping how much it really did to him. I don't think he was hurt that bad. That was pretty much Beneil's only moment though. After that, he tried to force the takedown and was pressuring Quillen up against the fence, but Quillen's takedown defense and ability to get off the ground looked really good. Beneil, for some reason, tried to land like a hook, breaking out of the clinch, and after that, Quillen landed just a couple shots and got Beneil out of there. Quillen did look good in this fight, but it's clear Beneil's chin is gone and he needs to retire. So that is my reaction to the UFC Perth card, and I think it was a pretty solid card. I think the prelims pulled it down a little bit, but the main card is very entertaining with 4 out of 6 fights having finishes. And so to wrap it up, your boy went 9-3 on picks and just really crystal balled that Carlos Prates pick. I mean, that went exactly how I predicted it would. So let me know what y'all thought about the video, and I will catch you on the next one.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.